Hello.
Hello. It's been a long time. Haven't seen you in a while. We got- I think we got Karen here.
Oh, good.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Greg.
Hello.
Hi.
Janice, Janice, do you want to take notes tonight? Would you mind?
All right. I'm not really ready, but I will. Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Dive right in.
I'm finding like actually writing things with
I
a
bet.
pen is really hard.
Yeah.
Is that phone that we see on the screen, is that Mary Lou? Because it's muted. It appears
No,
to
it's
be-
Karen.
Oh, okay.
1209.
It
Yeah.
appears to be muted, does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. She has to
And
figure out how to undo
Yeah,
it.
I looked it up, didn't I? I think it was. Dang,
I
it's in the
don't
paper.
remember.
I've got it here somewhere. I'll look it up while we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to
Good.
do that.
Thank you. You could be our tech guy.
The tech guy for the night. Yeah. In
Okay.
I did write it down, but it's in a stack of papers on my desk somewhere.
Yeah.
Henry, I've got another item we should probably put on the agenda is just for me to give an update on that chapter that I was writing for the open space plan.
Karen, if you're listening, the *6 is the touchpad thing that you use to turn the thing start. Yep, there we go.
Hooray.
Yay, I got it.
Yay.
Google wins
Wonderful.
again.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Karen, for persevering.
Thank you for keeping up with me.
No worries.
Okay, we're missing Mary Lou.
Be along in a second, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh, wait,
6
this-
o'clock. Just
Before we're recording in here, but I was going to suggest that as a commission for the next few meetings, we just focus on the issue of our responsibility to respond to appeals, planning board notices, and not worry about digitization or road signs or anything like that for a few weeks until
Yeah.
we really nail down the process of and get it behind us. You know, those other projects are very worthy, but they can wait.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we've got some good updates to share today.
good. Well, good. And I think we just, I would say no new business if possible tonight.
Good. I agree.
Just
I mean, sometimes that we should be able to talk and walk and chew gum at the same time, but
this is a whole new.
this is too much.
Well, it's a whole new responsibility for the historical commission. This is the first time we're getting to be involved in a project like the next
Yeah.
solar farm, and it's very different. I mean, it must have been. It seems to me it's different than how the historical commissions have been in the past. Haven't had that sort of same responsibility.
Mm.
I think with that comes a lot of tension and pressure.
Yeah.
Do you feel any pressure, Henry?
Oh, I love
You
pressure.
you can just zone out and do Tai Chi out in the snow and you'll be fine, right?
I may have to go out and remove snow this evening. I think it's going to be warmer tonight than it will be tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah. It gets really cold.
Really cold tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, my snowblower died.
Oh, no.
It always happens. Isn't that this like
Yeah.
the thing that always happens with a snowstorm when you don't use it for months and then
Yeah. Or
you need
my
it.
husband would get it ready early in the season, like in the fall. Okay, it's running, everything's fine. And then the first snowstorm, you take it out and it won't start. Like, what went wrong? You know?
Yeah, I don't see Mary Lou. Give her a couple more
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm just going to email her
Yeah.
just in case she hasn't, like, I possibly would do think it was at 7 o'clock, not 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I had to check a couple times. Was it 6 or 7? Yeah.
That would be right up my alley. Oh, 6 p.m.
But we have a quorum, so.
Usually she tells us if there's something that's going to interfere with her being able to come.
I bet she thought it was 7 o'clock.
Well, I just sent off an email
Okay,
saying
thank you. Yeah.
Good.
to the contrary.
But by the way, just as we're waiting, I took the time, believe it or not, to call somebody at the Attorney General about
La-di-da.
meetings being recorded.
Mhm.
Apparently, this is not a requirement. It's just something the town decided somehow.
Be a good idea.
It might be a good idea, perhaps because some people don't have a computer or can't phone in.
Mhm.
But technically, there is no requirement. And in fact, if I decide to turn it off, they can do nothing to me.
They can't kick you off the commission.
Oh, they can't, unfortunately.
But then on the other hand, if you don't have a computer, you're pretty much impossible to be able to watch or listen to the recordings either.
Right.
There you go. I
You
mean,
have to have internet to be able to get to the recordings.
that's right. Yeah, everything's on the internet, and we are the most wired town. We're ahead of South Korea.
Whoa,
We're ahead
okay.
of Australia.
Well,
Oh,
that's important. That's something to brag about.
We'll be paying for this for the rest of our lives, right?
But it came in handy now this year.
Oh yes. I don't know what I'd do. Here she is.
Yeah.
There she is. There
Oh,
she
good.
is.
I was just going to call her.
Oh, good. Great.
Okay, I'll just share the agenda.
And she's now.
Hello, Mary Lou.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Let me just share the agenda with you. Let's see. Hold on a second.
That agenda.
Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Karen can't.
Okay.
Oh.
So we'll read it out then.
Well, we'll read it. Approve minutes for 12/28 and 1/13. Is there any discussion about the minutes? Any concerns about them?
I have done.
I just had one question that I just didn't realize. On the December 28th, Miriam said something about all town meetings are being recorded with video. I haven't ever looked at them, so I haven't known. Is that true? It's
Yeah.
video, not just audio?
Yeah,
It's
it
video.
is. It is.
I
apparently video.
watch them when
Oh,
when I've been doing the minutes. I've been watching the videos.
oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
May,
You can
may, I,
download them.
may I say something?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not giving the town my permission to record me this way, so I'm not quite sure how I take that up.
Hmm.
So that's why you're not seeing me.
Mhm.
Nice.
I
Well,
need a
yeah.
haircut. I need,
Don't we all?
Me too.
oh my gosh. So at any rate, yeah.
Well, hey,
And
bad.
I didn't know, Henry. I didn't even know we were being recorded that way.
Yeah,
No, I didn't either.
yeah.
Yes.
It's a little bit intrusive in a way because it does condition what what we say. We say things knowing that every word is going out for broadcast. It's but as I said, I looked it up, and I talked to somebody at the Attorney General, And if I should decide not to record, there is absolutely no consequence.
Very good.
As long as we have the agendas posted in time, that is available to the public,
Yep, and we do
and
our-
that we take minutes or whatever.
we do our minutes. So if
Yep.
everybody's game, I'd be happy to turn it off.
You don't want to talk to town about it?
Well, I could inquire. I mean, I could ask them, give
Yeah.
them an opportunity to respond.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth it.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you.
All right. So here we go. Minutes. Any discussion?
I just have a quick question. I noticed at the bottom, it says respectfully submitted by Miriam DeFan, Historical Commission Secretary. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X's. Is that meant for anything?
Kisses.
The date, the date when I submit it, Mary Lou.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You'll put the date in?
Yeah,
Instead of kisses.
right, I can't put the date in until the minutes have been approved.
Right.
Oh,
that-
I get it. I see.
The day
Thank you.
that I send it to Grace would be the date that is in there.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. So
So-
anybody want to make a motion then to approve minutes for 12/28/20?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we hear one, twice.
I second.
Alright. So we'll go around the room, roll call. Henry Geddes, yes. Miriam DeFont,
Yes.
Greg Carlton,
Yes.
Janice Stone,
Yes.
Mary Lou, is it Conco or Farrell?
It's Pharaoh Conca, but Conca for the sake of
Okay, let's be clear.
simplicity.
All right.
Yes.
Buenissimo. And Karen, and I can't pronounce her last name, I'm sorry.
But
Could you-
Karen was Karen at that meeting?
was
I
it-
wasn't at that meeting.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, 12/28, okay, so,
But
Oh,
while
yes.
you have Karen here, do you want to approve the September meeting minutes?
it's not on the agenda, but,
Well,
I know
we
it has
kind of
been
said,
in the past.
I know, but we kind of said we were going to keep carrying it along until it got approved.
okay, gotcha.
Sure.
Out of the way.
Okay, well, let's pass this motion for the minutes for 12/28. I believe it passes.
Yep.
For September, what date was that again?
13.
9. September 9
I thought it was September
For
10th.
10,
or 10, was it?
I have the agenda was September 10. Trying to find the next thing. I'm looking through all my
Yeah,
files here.
September 10, yeah, 9/10. Right.
Okay.
Okay. September 10, 2020. Any discussion on that?
Oh, gosh.
No.
It's too far away to even imagine, but I remember looking at that at one point and had no problems with it at all. So I make the motion to approve minutes for September 10, 2020.
I'll second it.
Go around the room. Henry Geddes, aye. Greg Carlton,
Yes.
Janice Stone,
Yes.
Mary Lou Conca.
I'm sorry, but I would abstain just because I can't recall.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I know.
Actually,
sorry.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have responded because I'm sure I wasn't on the commission.
I was just wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That too. Oh, but I hope it doesn't but there's a quorum, so it shouldn't matter if I abstain, correct?
Well, I'm not sure we have a quorum at this point. If Greg and you abstain,
Well, how many commissioners? Oh, because there were other commissioners. that
No,
were-
but there can be an abstention, I would
Yeah.
think, from the commissioner that was there who is now voting.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
think that would make it okay, hey?
yeah,
Yeah,
you can
that was
abstain.
fine.
That counts. So that's 4. That is a quorum.
That is
Okay,
correct.
Okay.
That is a quorum.
yeah.
So, okay. Janice,
Karen?
well, oh, we did that. Karen.
Yep.
Is that a yes?
I think I'd better abstain too because I
Yeah.
don't recall it.
Yeah. Well,
We sent them out at least twice to everybody, but I know it's been a few weeks, so it's difficult
Yeah.
to remember them as specifically, I suppose.
having the 2 abstentions should not stop us from moving on.
Have you got quorum?
You have a quorum.
Well, we have 4
Yeah.
people who voted.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. You
Yes,
didn't ask about Miriam.
What about-
Miriam. Sorry, did I? I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't, I don't think I was a member then.
No,
You're
so I
not-
guess you'd count as an abstain.
Okay, so that
Well,
means
I just don't vote.
Or
Oh,
is it?
yeah.
Me
you
too.
don't vote.
Yeah,
That means only 3 of us. Only 3 of us.
right.
We're
So, we're getting closer.
Oh, is that 4? Mary Lou, Karen, myself, and Janice.
That's 4.
That's 4.
That's right.
We got 4.
Okay.
Moving right
Okay.
along.
Even though half of them abstained, you think it might still. It's better
But-
at least than the present thing of not approved. I mean, this is, people can decide whether it's a good approval or not, but at least we actually voted on it.
There you go.
I'd just like to make it clear to everybody, including anybody who's not at the meeting but watches this recording, this is non-alcoholic beer. I'm
Oh, I
not,
thought it was Guinness.
no, it's not. So it's non-alcoholic beer.
Okay, good.
Don't want anybody thinking that I'm drinking
What-
on the job.
What brand? It looks
What?
nice. What?
It's delicious.
What?
It's Athletic Brewing Company.
I'll have to look that up.
They're in Connecticut. They're in Connecticut.
Huh.
Okay. Meeting for 1/13/2021.
There's a short one.
Was it? No. Any discussion about that?
I had just one question, whether we needed to put in there that we went into executive session. It said that we voted to go in, but it didn't say that we actually went in. So I don't know if that's,
Well, it says we adjourned. I can add
Yeah.
that. I just lost the, where are those minutes? Here they are. So I could say adjourn, I could just say commission went into executive session, open meeting adjourned.
yeah,
Now, I have not done the executive session notes. I am remiss in that. I will do them.
right. Yeah,
We weren't,
Okay.
we didn't meet for very long. So
No.
that's
it's an
unfortunate.
hour.
An hour, is that all? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it was less than that for this first thing. And then from my notes, it was like, well, it took us a while to get all of us back into the
Right.
executive session link. So it was about 4:30 to about 5:35 that we were
Okay,
in that meeting.
all right.
I have in my notes, open meeting adjourned at 4:13 PM. I think then under that, maybe you would add, the commission entered executive session at that same time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
that's what I'm adding.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Glad someone's keeping track of this.
Mm.
Excuse me.
Okay, so do we need a motion now to approve the minutes of January 13th, 2021?
I move to approve those meeting notes.
I second.
Okay.
Around the room. So Enriqueta is aye. Miriam Defant,
Aye.
Greg Carlton,
Aye, aye.
Jana Stone,
Aye.
Mary Lou Conca,
Aye.
and Karen.
I'll agree.
Karen,
Alright.
I
Yeah.
don't think Karen got to enter. Oh, wait a
No,
minute.
you
She
didn't
was
make-
at the open. I'm
Yes, she
sorry.
was at the open one. Yep.
I'm
She's at the
sorry.
opener, but not the second part.
That's right. Okay.
No.
Yep.
Okay. So what are you voting? Is it
Yes.
okay?
All right, thank
All
you.
right. So it passes.
Excuse-
Hooray.
Oh, that-
Mary Lou,
Yes.
before we move on, I did not catch how to spell your granddaughter's first name.
Oh, it's Kyana.
Okay, thank you.
Kyana.
Pretty name.
It's beautiful. She got my middle name. That's even nicer. She got Louise. It means
Oh.
warrior.
Nice.
Mm. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. It's good to see her. I hope she's doing well.
She's in New York. She's doing very well. Yep. Thank you.
She will go far. So contracts, moving right along. I can report that things have been slow, and that, to be more precise, I think we've had, I guess, we've been asked to include lots of legal ease, just to kind of generalize, in these contracts that perhaps is unnecessary. You know, we're hiring somebody, for example, the Tipo Mark Andrews, for just over $1,000, and the contract is, you know, almost 2 pages long, you know, with all kinds of
Single spaced.
things in it.
Huh.
Wow.
I just cashed my checks for teaching Tai Chi with the town. They're well over $1,500. I don't know, a couple $1,000. I never signed anything whatsoever. Of course, you know, there is a backstory here. People are concerned, but my God, you know, this is a little much.
Yeah.
How exacting and how complex a contract can be.
It certainly doesn't give a sense of being welcoming. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like having to throw all this language in when we're trying to contract with a TIPO just is, you know, it just, I feel like,
Not good diplomacy.
I don't think it's diplomatic.
Yes, Greg.
Are these still actual contracts? We did talk about not doing contracts, but sort of doing letters of agreement or something like that.
Well, this
Are
is
you using the word contract liberally?
yes. Well, it's just that it for, you know, this is what it's been. We've been arguing for a simplified, you know, vendor,
Scope, just like a scope.
Scope.
scope thing. You know, this is what they're going to do. They're going to submit invoices. We'll pay them, which is a typical temporary hire. But we're getting, you know, pushback on this, and I've yet really to resolve this. I've been in touch with the town lawyer, so I'll keep you updated on what's happening.
Well, should we just let the commission know that we're thinking of reaching out to the select board?
Well, why don't you share that?
Yeah, I've been, you know, talking to a few people and they said, hold on, let me get rid of this call. Hang on. You know, maybe this is best resolved at the select board level. To talk to them about if they can help us navigate through this with an eye towards diplomacy and recognizing that this is probably the first time that the town has worked directly with a tribal government, that, you know, we don't want it to start off being adversarial.
Hmm.
That's right.
Well, I just I want to give a day or two here. I want a couple of days maybe to. I have written a fairly forceful letter, and I think I conveyed this sentiment, but I have not heard back, and this was as of last Friday.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'll be contacting, the lawyer, and if that is not resolved to my satisfaction, then absolutely we're on.
Okay.
But we
Yeah.
don't want to go there unless we have to. I mean,
Yeah,
Right,
if
sure.
we can avoid that, let's
right. Because ultimately, the select board has to approve any payments. So we have to, we don't have control in the sense that we can't just say, we're going to do this independently. It has to be approved
there you
and
go.
agreeable.
That's right. That's right.
And the same goes for the agreement with Lise McLaughlin as well.
Mhm.
And of
Do
course,
they interpret the legalese of this contract?
say again, Karen. Sorry.
I said, will the select board understand the legalese in the
don't-
contract, or the town lawyers, or
Anybody?
anybody? If it's that, you can't ask me because
Yeah.
I don't read that much.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think there's, yeah, there must be some reasons for this. I have not been made aware of those reasons precisely, and maybe that's what's forthcoming. But anyway, we'll keep you abreast of that as it unfolds.
Thank you.
Review status of ceremonial stone landscape projects.
Should I go over that, Henry?
Why don't you take a shot at that? Yeah.
Okay, so Lise McLaughlin, and I think the commission should understand that Lise McLaughlin has been working on our behalf without a contract. Not because we've asked her to do it, she's volunteered to do it, and she's put in a hefty number of hours, I think it's safe to say. One of the things that she has access to is information, photographs, and some mapped data of stone structures around Shutesbury. And she decided that she did not want to give those to the commission without the permission of a TIPO. So she shared that data with 2 TIPO offices. She shared it with the Nipmuc Nation and the other Nipmuc band, so two offices, and then also the Wampanoag of Gayhead-Aquina, which is a federal tribe. And the TIPO from the Wampanoag of Gayhead-Aquina said that their preference would be that if we are sharing any data, like with the planning board or with the public, that we not share any data that has exact coordinates, locational coordinates on them because of the privacy and sensitivity of the sites, but that more general kind of de-identified information would be okay, like a photograph that doesn't have GPS coordinates attached to it. So that seems reasonable. And again, this is research that Lise has collected from researchers. It's nothing that we own. And she's doing us the courtesy of sharing with us what she's doing. So we did hear back from Bettina Washington from the Wampanoag of Gayhead-Aquina. And she did say that they are interested in these sites, that they are of interest, and they would like to be involved.
Oh,
So that's very important, because now we can say to the planning board, not only are we interested, but a tribal representative is interested and wants to consult. And we can advocate for them being included in the process. So even without a contract, they have said that, which is, I didn't think they would give us an opinion without us having a contract in place. And was surprised and pleased that at least we got that far. So one of the things that Lise has been preparing is a PowerPoint presentation that could be shown to the public and to the planning board and to the commission, that would have various examples of stone structures on the different properties.
Great.
As well as
that are specifically in Shutesbury.
Well, specifically on the sites where the solar projects are going to go in. And also some mapped information. Again, the maps are going to be a little vague. She's created something called a heat map, where you just see these bubbles on the map, and the bubbles are bigger if there's more stone structures, and the bubbles are smaller if it's just a single structure. And so you can kind of look at the density.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's descriptive without getting so descriptive that it becomes a privacy issue. So she's worked on that. And, when we get the actual applications, we'll be able to be much more focused, because then we'll have the actual outlines of where they're going to be cutting trees, which we don't have right now. We don't have that specific, we don't have that information. The other thing that we've been working on is a massive report, and it's changed names. I originally thought of it as a white paper, but I think we're going to call it a primer or a primer. I don't know, how do you pronounce it? Primer, primer?
I think primer.
Primer. And so what it is it's an educational document for the public and the planning board and the developer and the historical commission that basically goes through all of the research behind ceremonial stone landscapes and the history of indigenous peoples in this area and the legal issues involved and what laws and statutes apply, with some appendices for people who want to get more in the weeds. And then it's going to have a series of recommendations. And I've been thinking this through a little bit about what is the best way for us to communicate to the planning board. And I think that, if we can boil it down to a series of very simple recommendations, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can't say you should do this, because, we need to be respectful of the planning board's authority here. We don't have the authority to tell the planning board what they should or shouldn't do. And we want them to be allies and partners with us. We don't want to alienate them by not being respectful of that or overwhelming them. But I think that we can make strong recommendations. And I guess that's one of the things I want to sound out with you guys, is how you feel about that approach. And the idea of the report is, that we can present it to the planning board and the developer, and then we can use it, we can tweak it and use it for some other ways. We can put it on our website, it could be used for other purposes.
I think that sounds good. I think we should just make sure that the recommendations are easy to find, whether you do a one-page summary in the beginning that basically gives very short background and then mostly just presents the recommendations, and then people can read the rest of the document as they choose for that. But I want to make sure that the recommendations are, easily found for people to see, not get.
Well, what I have right now is I have like a table of contents, and there's a section that says recommendations. And there's 2 or 3 paragraphs of text, and then I just have it sort of bulleted in boldface. So it's just like 1, 2, these are our recommendations, boom, 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 boom.
Greg, I think there's a
Greg?
question.
So this is published by the Historical Commission?
There would be us, yep.
Yes. Is there any chance of having it reviewed by some TIPOs?
Yes.
Because I just thought that might be, we've acknowledged that we don't have a whole lot of expertise ourselves. That's the whole reason for Lise and for the TIPO, Mark. So maybe it would be worth at some point having them review it and give it some stamp of authority.
Yes, I think that we could do that. Lisa's reviewed it a few
Mhm.
times, the draft, and she's been very helpful, and she has steered us. I've been primarily working on it, but I've shared it with Janice, I've shared it with Henry, and I will share it with all of you guys when I feel like it's a little bit better shape. I just don't want to keep sending all of you multiple drafts and get it really confused. But she's kind of helped me sort of make sure that some of the language is appropriate. Like right off the bat, don't call it a white paper.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
good.
no, it's not a white paper.
Oh, okay, that's right.
It's a bronze paper.
Terrible.
I
Yeah,
want
that's
to
right.
reaffirm that Lise has been invaluable in making these connections and sort of helping us navigate this process.
Mm.
So we owe her big time.
Yeah, I don't feel like I could have done the draft at the point it's at without her input.
No.
So and again, she's put a lot of hours into it. Like I've sent her drafts and she's sent it back with comments and
Could
been
you
very helpful.
let me just excuse me for 1 second? I just want to
Yep.
make sure this is not urgent. Hold on. One
Sure,
second.
go ahead.
So how many pages is this now, Miriam?
I'm afraid to say.
Well, if you don't include the appendices, right? Because they're long.
It's 20 pages.
Okay, see, that's not bad. Then the
And,
appendices.
I think it's getting, I'm going to kind of trying to make it readable with good headings so people can kind of follow. I'm assuming very few people are going to actually read this thing, but
I'll read all of it. Yeah.
we'll read all of it. But it'll be easy for people to find sections if they want them.
I have a question.
I'm back.
All right.
So,
So Mary Lou had a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
so Miriam, you're talking about recommendations to the board that you and Lise have been consulting on. It's 20 pages so far.
No.
Is that the report?
The whole report covers, as I said, there's a history section. There's
Right.
a discussion of what a TIPO is, what ceremonial stone landscapes are, and then
Oh, okay.
statutes that are involved in preservation. And then the recommendations are like one page.
Okay.
And ultimately, of course, it won't be presented to the board until we've seen it and approved it
Right.
as a commission.
No,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it
correct.
has to be approved by the board.
Okay, so the part where you say what a TIPO is, and you say history, yeah, that's because planning board people don't know this stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, and okay, so, and I think, well, just for like the ordinary person, part of their resistance that we're seeing, even, well, we're seeing it in a different way from town lawyer, but part of resistance to go into something like this is because they don't know. They just don't know this
Right.
stuff,
And
right?
when you don't know something, you're going to be hesitant.
Exactly. Yeah. Because when I first heard the word TIPO, I thought it was I didn't like it. The sound of it. I'm a word person, and TIPO, like, I don't know, like comparing it to somebody who's tipped, which
Oh.
is, but yeah, I'm saying what it brings to mind. So it's a good thing that we're going to help them to understand.
Yeah.
To present it in a simplified. You have to, when I was in Aquinas, the sisters there told me that the average reader is of third grade level. and that's the way the newspapers are supposed to put the word out. So just like, yeah, that's good to keep that in mind.
So I think what you're seeing is that there's we have there are multiple dimensions to this.
That's true.
To address the public, to address the planning board. So we're working on different levels, which is good. You know, it means getting the word out and for different audiences, really.
You know, and then I'm thinking way ahead now, but
Henry, can we take the agenda off
The off,
their
yes.
screen? Just so
Yeah.
be easier to see everybody.
if ever this material can go into the elementary school, that'd be awesome.
Mhm.
Because nobody is teaching about Native Americans in the I know this for a fact in our school books. Anyway.
Okay. So moving on, Miriam, you wanted to talk about the Open Space Commission
Yeah.
or not?
So I told you guys that, you know, the open space plan committee had wanted to rewrite with the history section of that report from 2004. And I did a draft for them. I'm not sure they're using it. It's a little unclear to me, but I don't think they're using it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
oh well.
Can we see the draft?
Didn't I send it to everybody?
Oh, okay. Maybe.
I think I sent it.
Why
thought
wouldn't they
so.
use it? Do you think?
I think that they felt like it had too much focus on Native American stuff, but they might use some. I got the sense maybe they'll use a little bit of it. Anyway,
Huh.
I hope they use some of it.
I
But
do too.
They're not using the whole thing. I know that.
Mhm.
So.
Oh,
Huh. Did they say it was too long or did they not get
No,
into
just that it
details?
was too much focused on the Native American stuff to the exclusion of colonial history. So
Okay.
that's again why, but they did recommend that we put it up on our website. So, you know, when at some point down the road, we might want to, you know,
I think
tweak
you'd
it or
still
add
good.
to it,
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
reformat it. And
You know, I read that thing a couple times. It was fairly balanced. You know, I didn't think there was heavily weighted to Native people. It was a good chunk of it, but it was not, you know.
well, yeah, it's weighing 12,000 years versus 250 years.
Mm.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, I think I remember reading it and I thought it would be a good thing to put on the website as one place to start getting the word out that we have some control over, you know, since it seems difficult to do that otherwise. Maybe Miriam, if you get a chance, you could send that around again and we can take another look, and then next time, you know, maybe vote on putting it on the website or something, or in
Okay.
some form like that or whatever.
That'd be great.
It's
I mean,
the,
I think that, you know, especially given that the language in this document is, as Mary Lou was pointing out, it's very accessible. I mean, I intentionally made sure I did a check to make sure the language was not going to be over people's heads or too academic. And the primer that I put together is a bit more academic. So this might be a nice counterbalance to have something that is more accessible for kids to read, or
Yeah.
people who are not wanting to read a dense research paper.
this is the open space plan history chapter draft.pdf file.
Yeah.
I can see it now. I can send it around if people wanted.
Oh, that'd be great, Greg.
Sure.
I'm not sure if that was the most recent
Oh, okay.
version of it,
You
but
better
yeah,
do it.
you can
You-
send it around.
Well, you
Go
better
ahead.
do it no, in case you made a revision.
Yeah, I may have made changes.
Okay.
If anything sits with me for too long, I start changing it. So
Yeah.
just never let things sit with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so good and bad news.
Yeah.
but at least they'll use some of it and we can use it.
Yeah.
So the next item is review of language for the newsletter,
Oh, yeah.
town newsletter.
Who's doing that?
It's Mary Lou, right?
For our signs project.
Yes.
Okay, so would I send you all I just thought one or two statements just to try and rise interest and well, possibly excitement from other, from the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm seeing, I sometimes get ahead of myself with stuff. So I've gone from talking to people about how much each individual sign, and Miriam, in the beginning, we were doing this. I don't know if I talked to you on the phone separately or what, but that now I'm seeing that's a way down the road, that part of this whole project, because I think it has to be voted on first in town. And yeah, so what would be put into the newsletter is just like a one or two statements. And then Greg, I think that you had said, you sent a picture of what a sign looks like.
Might look like, yes.
Yeah, and then we put entering Shutesbury Center Historic District. It doesn't have to be big. I'm getting the impression the newsletter is like, hard to get space in it.
Mm-hmm.
So just one or two sentences that it's going to be a long time project, and that we need to have community interest. Yeah.
So are
So
you going to tell us what those are? Because they has to get into the newsletter.
Right, we have to
within a week.
vote on it tonight.
Yeah.
oh so yeah, do a vote that Mary Lou and
We
Greg
need-
make. You have to
we
know
need the language.
specifically what
Yeah,
the
we
sen-
need-
what the hi. I didn't put those together yet.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Should we table this and do it at the next time they have a newsletter coming out?
Yeah, because we'll have time then,
Yeah, how
Nothing.
often do they come out?
quarterly.
I forgot. I
Quarterly.
used to,
Quarterly?
yeah, so that's 3 times a year. Sure, I'm fine with that.
No, it's 4 times a year.
4 times.
Oh, well, if it's quarterly, it's only 3. Every 4 months at once. How many quarters are they?
There are 4
Four.
quarters.
There's 4 quarters. We have 16 months.
No.
4 3-month quarters.
Oh, 4 quarters of 3 months.
Yes.
Put that in your mathematical head. Okay, so a quarter is no more 4. It's 3. Okay, there we go. It comes out, say it again, 4 times a year?
Yes. And so
Okay.
does that mean we won't put anything in this issue of the town newsletter? Is that correct?
That's
guess
how
if
I'm
we-
hearing it.
Yeah.
We
well,
don't have any language set to vote
and
on.
like I've said to Mary Lou, this is actually quite a big project, and it is a long-term project, and we don't have to rush at it. The project, if we want to do it, if the town wants to do it, it's not going away, and it'll take a bit of time because it's quite a sizable thing.
Maybe, depending on what happens with town meeting this year, but at the least, maybe it'll be outside again, like last year. We could have a poster or something with an example of your sign. And I think that'd be a nice visual thing that may attract attention. And then you can have some discussions. People can write down ideas or whatever, but it can be a nice thing to be able to do for whatever form of town meeting we have, but will probably
That's
be.
a great idea.
It's
in
a good
person.
That
time.
is, I like that.
Yep.
I have a
think that'd be nice. I
tablecloth
like that.
already. I have a tablecloth already for
All right.
the table.
Okay. We move on then to any new business.
Yeah, yay. My photographs of doors. Last time Janice, they, wait a minute. There's two Janices. Janice
Right.
Gray,
Yeah,
yeah, she had me bring it to you, Janice, and then remember we took a vote. The doors were at that time were all of Shutesbury. I've had this notion for a long time to make a poster, the doors of Shutesbury. Like, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the one they made in Amherst, but it's really awesome.
and Nantucket too.
Oh yeah, and quite a
Yeah.
few other. You know, I met a guy at an outdoor festival who had posters of doors from around the world, and I just couldn't believe it. But at any rate, this most recent issue of Uniquely Quabbin, they took two doors that are in their winter doors that are that got published that are in Shutesbury. So I thought it'd be cool to put them in the newsletter, and then so we have to vote. And it got all sent out to you.
Yep, I saw him.
Those were the two pictures that were in the quarterly. I haven't seen the Uniquely Quabbin yet,
Yeah,
I think I forwarded it
but yeah,
to
I saw those two
everybody.
pictures. Yeah.
yeah. The magazine is in the post office.
Okay.
So these are not historical doors. They're,
Yeah, those aren't this time. Oh, well, the one let me think.
Yeah.
No, they're not this time.
So maybe it doesn't need to come from the commission.
Yeah.
But it can
That's
come
true.
from you. Come from you, in which case the commission doesn't. Have to
No, yeah, but you know what? You can't write in that town letter unless you're a commission person or a group person.
Right.
Yeah, because one time they took my poem. It was about the, what do you call, farmers market. And that's because I was on, they used to have, I don't know if they even still have it, a farmers committee. They had some
Yeah.
committee because remember that they didn't want, they didn't want state impositions to wreck people who are doing farming in Shutesbury. So they made a group, and then I submitted my poem, and I didn't know that about the farmers market, and I didn't know that it only got published because I was in that farm group. So at any rate, it does have to come through the historic commission. And yes, this time they are not historic doors. So maybe it doesn't.
I don't think it works for us. Not for
There
this
you go.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't come up for a vote. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good project. It's just not sure how relevant it is for the commission to be advocating for it.
Well, when I try the posters, they're going to be all, when I get that poster project together, it's going to be all historic buildings. But that is different than this particular submission. So
and
thank
maybe
you.
are you thinking
for
of
your
the
time.
poster as, were you thinking of the poster as a fundraiser of some sort?
Yeah, I told David Dan, right? Because he was there when I first started, and I was so excited. I left his envelope of photographs in his what you call mailbox there, and yeah, that's what I wanted to do, was because then even a little before that, my mom was living here, and she was going to they did they used to do a lunch on Tuesdays at the senior center. So I said, then I thought of a calendar, and then whatever, just sell them and then give that to the senior center. So yeah, so it would be a fundraiser either way for one of our town organizations.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Any other new business?
No.
And while we're on that topic, next meeting.
Oh, wait a minute. I will bring a new business, if I may.
Oh, certainly.
I think that we should, as a commission, make some kind of note to John Walter. A note of gratitude for his giving of his of him, his giving of himself to us. I think he's an extremely talented man. I appreciated his willingness to, sit among the historical commission. I think that we need to recognize that.
May I say, I think that individually we could do that, but I don't think that it should come from the commission. If you were some incredible luminary who came and did a million things, superhuman things, I would say, oh, maybe, but what did he do for us? Excuse me?
Well, he was a commission member like the rest of us.
I know.
Yeah.
So in,
But
a sense, in a
it's
sense,
just like
nothing new.
anybody else, and people resign and they come and go. It's not as if, we're not going to have an homage to John, just because he had besides the way he left, he made it sound like it's a horrible place to work. So I'd have reservations about having the commission actually submit a statement of that sort. If anything, he owes us an apology for the kind of note he circulated all around town that made us look, it compromised, our work, made us look bad. It was not very diplomatic, shall we say. If you resign, you're going to take everybody down with you, I suppose, is his idea of resigning. But whatever it's worth. I don't know. Anybody else have a thought on this?
I know that like when like Kristen left, we didn't do anything. Chris Donta left, we didn't do anything. Jim Schilling left, we didn't do anything. We did with I sent a card to Craig because he had done that video, the recopying of the audio tapes and stuff like that, but otherwise, we haven't recognized other people who've been on the commission for longer and for doing more things. So I don't think that's the standard unless, like you're saying, it's really an exceptional situation.
Thoughts? No, we're all, individually, if you want to contact, I'm going to call him. Talk to him that way. Any other new business?
Amazing. It's only been an hour.
It's been an hour,
Yeah,
and-
if we can finish in 5 minutes. I win a bet with Emily.
yeah. Well, thank you all.
So next meeting.
Yeah, when's the next meeting?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that by the time we have the next meeting, we'll have a contract with somebody going forward. And
Maybe news from planning board about what's
Yeah.
happening with the solar.
right, what we want to do is once we have the agreement with the TIPO, have him probably join us for a meeting. I think that we should have a meeting with him and Lise,
Mhm.
that where we specifically go over and discuss the photos and the maps and hear what he has to say about them.
Yeah,
I think that we should be doing that before we deliver things to the planning board.
yeah.
What do you guys think of that?
I think that makes sense that, if they're going to be working for us or with us, depending on, which is which, that it'd be good to make sure we're all on the same page.
Right.
So is that next meeting you're thinking of doing that, or?
Well, I don't know, because we won't have to have a contract in place. I feel like we can't ask somebody to come to a meeting when we're not prepared to pay them for their time.
Yeah.
So should we put off making the next meeting until we've got some idea of, is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
We did it once, and we did a what do you call it, the survey thing. People chose one
Survey
thing.
Monkey or whatever.
Yeah.
Do a doodle poll.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Could do that.
Hold off until we know a little bit more where we're at.
Well, I mean, we theoretically, do we meet sort of monthly? Is that theoretically when we meet? Do you want to set a monthly meeting for February
Mhm.
and make it a special meeting if the need arises?
Yeah.
With Tipo and with,
Yeah,
So we're checking the mailbox, and if an application is submitted, then I would probably suggest that we meet sooner.
okay,
yeah.
And there is a risk that we may have to go forward without a contract with anybody.
mhm.
Um, But at least we have some, we'll have some information that we've gotten from the TIPO office. But I think we should not assume that this is all the ducks are going to fall in a line and that we're going to have everything
So
as we would like them.
we'll choose.
I have a couple of questions. I'm sorry, Greg.
That's all right, Meredith.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. Have we set up the agreement or the contract with Mark Andrews? That's one question. My second question is, I was just looking on the planning board and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 subdivisions. One is Dean Brook, Pratt Corner Road. The other is Roaring, Carver Road. The other is Baker Road, West Pelham Road. And then Nurse Brook, Pratt
Mhm.
Corner Road.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, that's a different thing, Mary Lou.
Oh, those are not, that's what I was gonna say.
Well-
Those are not the solar
Well, they
stuff?
are the solar thing. So, I
Oh,
don't know, do you want to get into this? This is like going down a rabbit hole of a lot
Yeah,
of.
I think we discussed.
oh.
I think we've discussed where we're at with the contracts. Unless you want to rediscuss, revisit that discussion.
I certainly don't, Henry. I need to know, are they confirmed? It's all
Oh.
set?
No,
No.
they're not.
Or no?
Oh,
Nothing's
oh,
set.
because you're waiting for them because they're putting up barriers. That's,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, they're adding a lot of
they're
language.
putting up barriers because oh, yeah, all right. So, oh my gosh, okay. And we don't have a lawyer per se.
We're the town lawyer.
Well,
Town
yeah, she's the
council.
one putting up the barriers, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's, oh, okay. I have to bite my tongue. Oh,
So just in a word, Mary Lou,
yeah,
the developer and Coles attempted to create a vehicle where they could lock in those tracts of land before the solar
Right.
bylaw took effect.
Oh, who was
And
watching that?
So they call it a subdivision, but they have no intention of building houses there. It's just
Oh
a
my-
vehicle for locking in which zoning version. And the planning board found that the applications were incomplete, and so they were not able to subdivide. And so all of the projects fall under the new solar bylaw.
Hooray.
But the developer
well-
wants the planning, but the developer wants the planning board to waive the bylaw.
Ugh.
Oh, sure.
I have a bylaw then. All right.
Sure, I'll wave it up in the air.
So
Tell me
that's
where to
what
go
it
for
is.
that protest.
Yeah, really.
Oh, I miss Beth Adams.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So
Wow.
we're hitting that 7 o'clock mark. I think
Okay.
it's time for a beer.
A real one.
Real
Or a
one.
non-alcoholic
Oh,
beer.
And we'll snap
A root beer, ginger beer.
real good.
No,
Okay.
move to close.
Move, yes, move to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Yes,
I'll do that.
yes, make the motion.
I make a motion that we move to adjourn.
I second. Also, aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Aye.
Vicky.
Karen, are you I too?
I didn't hear the date.
Oh, we don't
date.
have one.
We haven't set one
Oh,
yet.
we didn't do one.
Oh, the date for the next meeting,
I think
Mm.
we're gonna,
The next monthly,
monthly
regular
meeting, just in case. Shall we say mid-February sometime?
Okay.
Tuesday the 16th, maybe?
You
Let
should
me
set
look
a
at my
date, I would think.
Yeah, it's good. I
So-
guess you're right. We might as well set a date. We can always add a special one, like Miriam said, if we
The
need
other
to.
thing is that we want to make sure this is a Wednesday. Just say Wednesday. I'm in a fog about what.
Today is,
Yeah.
You know,
But-
days don't mean anything anymore. We have to make sure that we don't conflict with the, what is it, the Council on Aging or something?
Oh,
Wednesday.
Remember?
yeah.
Wednesdays are
that
the
was the
best
sec-
night. The Wednesdays are gonna be the best nights to not conflict with the planning board or the Concom.
Yeah.
Concom doesn't meet that often, but
and the planning board has very sort of on the spot meetings because they don't have any projected on the calendar.
their meeting, they always set it at the meeting. They just
Yeah.
don't post it until right before. So they're meeting this coming Monday,
Okay.
What is Monday's date?
February 2nd.
Monday's
the
first.
Ready?
First,
The first?
the Council on Aging have meetings on the 10th and 7th. The Broadband Committee has one on the 17th, 10th and 17th. Both
All right, what
Wednesdays.
about the 24th?
Seems it's open at the moment according to the calendar.
Well, that's good. Should we do 6 o'clock?
Yes.
That's fine.
That's good.
Is that good
Yeah.
for everybody?
Yeah,
Karen?
When?
The 24th of February.
it's a Wednesday.
Okay. At 7?
Oh.
6.
6.
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because that's a bit of a ways away, that's 4 weeks away, it's possible we'll need another
Yeah.
one in between if things heat up with the planning board or the contracts or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, at this point, I'm not sure. You know, I had been under the impression, okay, the historical commission needs to vote on the contract. But I'm wondering if that's actually true, if really we don't have any say whatsoever about the terms of the contract, and it has to be approved by the town attorney and the select board. As long as we've authorized the payment and the general scope,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if we actually have to vote on it, because
So are you talking about lease or Mark
we're both
Andrew?
of them, because
Uh,
you know, if we're going to vote on something, presumably it's because we'd have some input into it.
mm.
Which
And
we don't.
really, the
yeah.
question is getting the select board and the town attorney to approve it.
But if they don't see that we voted okay.
But
what-
we did approve the hiring and the
Okay,
authorization for the payment, and we reviewed what the scope is, and we
Okay.
sent the scope around to everybody.
yeah.
The
do
legal
you
stuff
think?
is pending.
Janice, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I think you're probably right. And I don't know who to ask since we're sort of battling the people we'd normally ask. But I think that makes sense because yeah, if we said, no, we want this term in here, they'd just say, no,
Right,
no, this is what we decide
right.
and that's it.
Right, it's really a negotiation
Mhm.
with the town attorney and the select board. The select board has to authorize the payment. We can request that we send a warrant requesting the payment, but it has to be approved by the select board.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
So should we vote on that? That we're in agreement to let it go ahead? Or we already
We
have?
already did.
I
didn't we?
suppose, I mean,
Yeah.
we've already authorized
voted.
Henry to do the negotiation.
Right, okay.
And I might add that we've actually adjourned the meeting at this point.
And we have
That's true.
adjourned the meeting.
Well, we
Okay,
didn't
so-
all, oh yeah, we just did a consensus.
Okay, so
the
forget
table.
everything I just said.
Okay, all right.
Off the record.
All right,
Well, it should probably go in the minutes, but.
But
I'll add it there somewhere.
yeah, we'll be in
Mhm.
touch. If
Good night,
there's a
all.
need for a meeting, we'll let you know, I guess.
Okay,
Okay,
Good.
great. Good night.
all right, thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.